Hello everyone, I welcome you all again in my YouTube channel. So, we have been learning tense and its forms, and in my previous videos, we learned more about simple present and present continuous tense. Like them, even today, we are going to learn a very useful tense of grammar, which is present perfect tense. If you have already subscribed my channel, so you will be able to see all my previous videos as well as upcoming videos, and those videos are definitely useful in your life because I have been teaching all the tense forms in detail, and definitely those tenses will be useful for everyone. So without wasting time, let's begin present perfect tense. If you are new to this channel, so please subscribe my channel for upcoming notifications.
So friends, we have already discussed that present tense has four subtenses. Those are simple present, present continuous, present perfect and present perfect continuous, of which we have already discussed about simple present and present continuous tense in my previous videos. So today we are going to discuss more about present perfect tense. So, the structure that we have to use for present perfect tense is subject plus have slash has plus verb third form plus object. It means now you have to use after subject have or has helping verbs in present perfect tense. After helping verbs, we have to use verb third form means past participle form of verb and then after object. So let's see how to use helping verbs have and has as per the subject. Suppose if the subject is I, you or any plural subject, so you have to use have as a helping verb. But if the subject is singular like he, she, it or any name, so you have to simply use has helping verb with such subjects. Don't be confused. Let me repeat once again. If the subject is I, you, or any plural subject like we, they, people, my friends, etc. So simply use have as a helping verb. But if the subject is singular like he, she, it, or any name, for example, Mayur, Dinesh, Shreya, etc. So use has as a helping verb with such subjects. Now let's see what is the use of present perfect tense in English language. Present perfect tense is used to show that any action is completed. It means any action is not going on but it is completed. Okay, let's see some examples of this tense form. First example, Rohit has written a poem. Second example, they have lifted heavy sacks. And third example, he has done his homework. Okay, let's match our examples with the structure given above. In the first example, the subject is Rohit, which is singular subject, and I recently declared that if the subject is singular, we have to use has as a helping verb. So, after Rohit, we use has, then written, which is the third form, means past participle form of write, and then a poem, which is object in the sentence. And here the action of writing poem is completed. In the second example, the subject I use, which is they, and you know that they is plural subject. So with plural we have to use have as a helping verb that I used. And after have I use lifted, which is the third form of lift, and I use only ed in its third form because it is regular verb, and in regular verb we have to use only ed in its second and third form. So after lifted I use heavy sacks in the example, and it is the object of this example. Same with the third example. The subject is he. You know that it is singular subject, and for singular I use has. Then I use done, which is the third form of do, and then his homework, it is the object of the example. And in the example, the action of doing homework is completed. So this way, you can use present perfect tense in English for making statements. But while making use of present perfect tense, just be careful about verb third form means past participle form of verb. For that, I think you must study verb chart because I think verbs play a very important role in English language. Okay, now let's see how to use present perfect tense in negative sentences. The structure we have to use for present perfect negative sentence is subject plus have slash has plus not plus verb third form and then plus object. I think you might have noticed that we recently used the same structure, but here we have to use only not in negative sentences with have or has. For example, you can say, he has not come yet. They have not invited us for function. Or I have not completed my project. Now you can see that in every example I have used have or has helping verb after subject. Like in the first example I used has with he. Then in second example I use have with they because they is plural form. And in third example I have used again have with I because with I, you and with plural subject we have to use have helping verb. After helping verbs I used not because the structure is negative. And after not in every example I have used third form of the verb like come, invited and completed. Come has its second form came, but the first and third form remains same, which is come, C-O-M-E. So now you realize that this is very easy to make negative sentences of present perfect tense. Just you need to remember the structure accurately. Okay, now let's move forward and see how to use present perfect tense in interrogative sentences. First, let's use it in WH questions and then verbal questions. I would like to repeat once again that questions are of two types: WH questions and verbal questions. WH question starts with WH words like what, where, which, when, etc. And verbal question starts with helping verbs. So let's first see how to use present perfect tense in WH questions. We have to use the following structure to make questions in present perfect. The structure is WH word plus have slash has plus subject and plus verb third form. After verb third form, the remaining part will be there in the question and then finally the question will end with question mark. And I think you all know very well that how to use have or has. I repeat once again, whether use have or has, it will be depend completely over the subject that you used in the question. Okay, let's have some examples of it. First example, what have you brought for me? Second example, where has he gone? And third example, whom has she invited for party? So you can see that I started every question with WH word like what, where and whom. After WH word, I am using either have or has and it is just depend over the subject. In the first example, I use have as a helping verb because the subject in the first question is you and with you we have to use have helping verb. Then after you I use brought which is the third form of bring and then for me it's remaining part of the question and finally question mark. And in this question the action of bringing something is completed. In second question, after where I use has helping verb because the subject in the second question is he and he is singular subject. So I use has. After he, I use gone which is the third form of go and this question does not have any remaining part of the question. So it directly ends with the question mark. Same with the third question. After whom I use has helping verb because the subject is she and she is again singular subject. That's why I use has as a helping verb. After she I use invited, which is the third form of invite. After invited I use for party, which is the remaining part of the question, and finally question mark at last. So this way present perfect tense is used for making WH questions. So I hope you understood this concept very well. You can make more such WH questions by starting with any WH word. Then after WH word use have or has as per the subject that you will use, and then after subject use proper verb third forms. For that you can study a verb chart which will be helpful for you for more practice. So this was all about WH question. Now let's see how to use present perfect tense in verbal questions. I have already cleared that verbal questions are also called yes no type questions, and these questions always starts with helping verbs. And now you all know very well that we are using have or has helping verbs in present perfect tense. So the verbal questions will start with either have or has. So look at the structure. Have or has plus subject plus verb third form. After verb third form again the sentence, the question may have any remaining part of it, and then finally question mark. Okay, let's have some examples of verbal questions. First question, have you seen my parents? Second example, has she done her project? And third example, have they left their job? Now observe these examples carefully. I have started all the questions either with have or has because they are helping verbs and verbal question starts with helping verbs. I started first question with have because the subject in the first question is you, and with you we use have helping verb. After you I use seen, which is the third form of verb see, then my parents, which is the remaining part of the sentence, and then question mark. And now you can answer this question also with yes or no. For example, have you seen my parents? You will reply either yes or no. That's why verbal questions are also called yes no type questions, because you can answer these questions by saying only yes or no. I started second question with has because subject is she and she is singular subject, and after she I use done, which is the third form of do, then her project, which is the remaining part of the question, and then finally question mark at last. And you can answer this question also by saying only yes or no. Third question starts with have because the subject I use is they, and they is plural subject, and with plural we have to use have helping verb. After they I use left, which is the third form of leave. Then their job, it is the remaining part of the question, and then finally question mark at last. So this way present perfect tense is used in verbal questions. So today we learn present perfect tense in detail. If you still have some doubts, so ask your doubts and queries in the comment box. And if you really enjoyed my video, so please like it and also share to your friends as much as possible. And also subscribe my channel for upcoming notifications of my videos, which will definitely be useful in your future life. Thank you very much. See you soon with another video.